And we're live. There it is, okay. Okay, so online we have Carrie and Stephen and Diane, right?
Right.
And that is it, no, Jesse, right? And then Abby and Rachel here, so that's good, we have 5 people. All right. Okay, hello, everybody. Hello, Matt. Hello. Welcome to the meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. It's Thursday, June 2nd, and it's just after 1 o'clock. Present at today's meeting are Carrie Thornwell, Stephen Welch, Diane Coombs, Abby Camp, and myself. Matt, you're not going to record any portion of today's meeting, are you?
Not today.
I didn't think so. Okay, we're doing it for you anyway. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve today's agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Carrie.
Aye.
Thank you, Stephen. Abby.
Aye.
Okay, Stephen around?
There.
Okay, well, just to keep things moving along, Diane, on your motion?
Aye.
Very good, and I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Any commissioner comments? Hearing none, we will move on to public comment. Matthew, anything?
Just want to say you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you for being here on Thursday.
Hi, Marty.
Marty McGowan, I can't
Hi,
believe it,
guys.
because I think you're actually on the agenda, Marty. You might be number 1.
It's a rumor.
Yeah, okay, so discussion, nothing, right?
I sort of missed the me and my typing, but I wanted to say via public comments that Tuesday's celebration for Johnny was just really awesome and really great.
It was fabulous.
It
And
was
the fact that
faboo.
the fact that he wore his
Boxing robe.
Yeah, the whole time was, I was just so happy about that. And Joe Topham, of course, had a very, very clever idea there. So, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Terry. Thanks for that. It was very enjoyable. Okay, so consent agenda. It looks like I need to recuse of that. Oh, Val's not here. Let's see. Anybody else need to recuse from this one?
I don't think so. Don't like it.
So Abby will be chairing.
Diane, you want to make that motion?
Yep, make a motion to approve consents,
Okay,
1 through 25.
excellent. Thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion, Carrie,
Aye.
and is Steve with us or? Can
You hear me?
There,
Yeah.
that was Steve.
Are you okay with the consent motion?
Yes.
Yes, and I am in favor as well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And actually, you're gonna need to do consent with conditions too, because I'm off that.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve 1 through 4 on consent with conditions. Pool.
Yeah, thanks for that, Diane. On Diane's motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
myself, aye. Diane, on your motion,
Aye.
aye. Okay, we're done with that.
Okay, that was consent with conditions, folks. Now we have Marty McGowan, and this is new business, so we can all sit up.
Here we go. Thank you, everybody, for the time and especially honoring John and his great service. I'd like to say that the existing condition at 42 Easton Street is Belgian block, brick in herringbone surrounded by Belgian block. Soon to be brick and herringbone surrounded by Belgian block. I think I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, What more can you tell us? I mean, if you're not just replacing what's already there, correct?
No, what's happening is, the gas tanks that are located under this plan in the driveway need to be relocated. So the entire surface will be disrupted. And when it goes back in, it flips this, really what I'm gonna call a grid. And then, a lot of hydrangeas go in and some privet, and it basically looks almost the same.
So this is the breakers.
Yeah, this is next door. Yeah, the old Jefferson boys.
Wait, look, it is the breakers, right?
It's past it. Yeah. Yes.
No, either it is the breakers or it's not the breakers.
I don't know that this building was called the Breakers. I don't know that.
It's the breakers. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the big one. Yeah, I think you just showed a photo.
It was a double house, right?
Yeah, that's the breakers. Okay,
Okay.
so inside of Marty, we're looking at either a historic photo or a current photo that has like a double gate to get in there.
Okay. It does not have that gate currently.
Okay,
I have to apologize. I was advised by someone beyond our control that I should not apply for the gate, although I feel it's quite simple and an easy do.
you mean not apply as in just make it or just leave it off?
No, no, I'm not doing that. That's the gate I did at Orange Street. I'm asking for the same gate down at Orange Street at this house. I won't do this job until November, probably.
Right.
But I'm trying to get the permits for that so that everybody can plan and move forward.
Okay, so Marty, I know that HSAB is gonna weigh in on this, but so I'm asking a couple. So we already have this brick and this Belgian block, and at least in the photographs, it's all concealed by a double gate. Is there any change to the configuration of the surface?
You mean as in, no,
No,
the
change in the
the
shape of
surface
it.
grading stays the same.
No, but is there any change to the shape of it? Are you making it larger or are you doing anything to it?
Oh, no, it's, it actually ends up, oh, yes, it is larger because the existing condition had a large flower planter. You see if I can, okay, if we look at this map, can that map be blown up just a little bit? Thank you for helping. That's great. Okay, you see the row of hydrangeas, it says planter enhancement? Right against the deck
Yep.
of the house? Yeah. Okay, that used to come 10 feet into the driveway. So that is now going to be a wooden box planter. And before, it was a stone wall that hid the two gas tanks that were under it and kept the gas tanks out of the driveway. The gas tanks are now going to be relocated out of the driveway. And this additional parking will be 7 feet by 21. So it'd be 7 feet by 21 feet, more brick in front of the house. Other than that, it's
Directly in front of the house. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Marty, thanks. Let's hear what HSAP has to say so we can move this along. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the house that's this is associated with it has an HDC survey and it's circa 1973. HSAB reviewed this on May 2nd. They said enclosing the driveway with a gate of any kind is too formal for the Brant Point area. The gate should be eliminated.
Well, hang on. Marty,
yes,
you said the gate's not there and you have not applied for it, correct?
well, could we check that?
That's what I'm doing.
I just saw a little graphic that showed kind of a gate-like look looking little
Gate.
thing.
Gate is on the
Right.
application.
But there is a gate there now?
Okay. No, there is no gate there now.
Okay, but the historic photo showed there was. Okay, sorry, continue, Holly.
Changing the entire brick parking area to Belgian block is too much of this more formal material. A mix of paving materials would be more appropriate. Is there any proposed exterior lighting? And each side would like to see revisions if the commission so
Okay,
inclined.
so they're not changing it to all Belgian block. It's staying brick with Belgian
Okay.
block edging.
I think it was about 3 weeks ago. I dropped off the plans, actually at the meeting when I was there. Um,
Marty, we're having a really difficult time hearing you.
People.
You need more bandwidth. Maybe you should get rid of your video.
Tom, Rick. Let me try that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, better.
That's still all brick.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So,
they were
I
trying
do
to-
not want to change this to Belgian block. I just want to do it all brick. There is another application in your world somewhere from 3 weeks ago. When I heard that you guys didn't want, or that the advisement was don't make it Belgian block, I then switched it to stay with existing materials of brick and Belgian trim.
Gotcha. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
And that would have been my recommendation to have it brick, so I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted to mention for the record that the curb cut should stay as is and conforming to the zoning bylaw.
Marty, it doesn't sound like you're planning on moving the curb cut. Is that it?
There is no
that-
change to the curb cut.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
May I comment? I
No.
did take a picture of 7 full gate driveways on Halbert and Easton.
Okay, so the
I
gate
need to
is,
come back
the
to
gate
that.
is part, the gate is part of the package, right at the moment, correct, Marty?
Thank you. Yes, that is because you have
Yes,
the old
it
package.
is.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's just see what the board has to say about it. Okay, so who wants to start?
I'll go.
Thank you, Stephen.
Marty, thanks for this. I think it's unnecessarily complicated, just in the sense that we should just have everything in front of us and be able to preview this. The gate is part of it. It's not part of it. The image that looks like it's an old image, but it's actually just a kind of sepia black and white kind of re-representation. It's unnecessarily confusing. So I'm just saying that not necessarily at you, Marty, but for the benefit of other applicants. We are just inundated with applications. We need to be able to see clearly what's in front of us during a preview so we can make a determination. On this particular application, I would want to see more gates or call for a view to determine whether this particular gate is too formal relative to precedent or the particular home. I don't have a concern with the individual landscaping elements otherwise, except for the fact on the site plan, it indicates compressors. I presume those are AC compressors, and I'd want to know if those are existing or if they're new proposed. Thank you.
Thank you. They are existing.
Okay, thanks for that clarification, Marty. Who's next?
Some clown who's
Oh.
presenting the stupidest, ugly, I mean, it's just the most oops, no.
Wow.
No, I want to hear who that was.
I'll go if you want.
Was that speaking?
I think it was-
Diane.
No, I know that was you, but there was.
Oh, it's a
something
guy
with
named
that.
Bob something.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Diane.
The, I think using the herringbone brick and having it look like it does now is good. On the plans that I have in front of me, it says a sliding gate. I don't know exactly what it is sliding gate. I think that it probably should be left open which is more like the houses going down Easton Street. Some of the houses on Halbert Avenue do indeed have fences, but this house, I don't know when it goes back to the historic picture, but I think it's very nice looking the way it is without the gate.
Oh,
So that
okay. Thank you,
I don't-
Diane. Yep,
if it was going to be a gate, it would have to be what he's drawn, not what the sliding gate is. I don't know what that is. Okay,
well, Diane, just so that you know, a sliding gate is, it's on a track and it's one gate that's the whole width. And then it slides like a sliding door off to the side.
yeah, that's what I
That's-
thought it was, and I didn't think it looked like it would fit in there, so that's why.
Well, see that somebody has drawn a line to the left of where the gate is, and that would
Yeah.
be where the track is.
Well, I don't think that's good.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's see, Steven's gone. Carrie, you ready?
Yeah. I agree with the others and the gate, I think I agree with Stephen. I'd like to see more examples on Halbert because I feel like it's really walling off the whole property. And if there is a gate, I prefer them to be traditional swinging gates rather than gliding. I feel like the gliding is turning us into Palm Beach and everything's going to be closed up all the time. Sliding gate to me says it'll be closed a lot more often than open.
Who's that now?
Anyways, I mean, a black cardigan is like, yeah. Everything.
People mute themselves, please.
Hey,
Elizabeth O'Rourke.
mute yourself.
Thank you.
My God. Okay. Carrie, thank you. Abby.
So, and I was just going to measure the side. So in the picture that you have of the proposed gate, typical 5, those posts seem super huge, like more than a foot square. And I think if you're going to do a post, they should be smaller, and that the gate should not be a sliding gate, but a truly gate that opens onto the privet, like, and probably mostly left open, unless, you know. It looks like an awful lot of brick that's proposed, but you're saying that it's pretty much the same except for the flower bed being, that's gonna be good.
Sure.
I think we're probably gonna, I would like to see that put back in, even though it was just hiding your tanks. I think it would soften it and take a little more heft out of the size of this thing. So, I like the combination of herringbone and the Belgian block. I think that's nice, but I would like to see less of it.
Okay, thank you, Abby. Marty, I basically think that the whole proposal is fine, with the exception of the gate, which I would like to see as a double gate that's hinged. And you obviously, just PS, the drawings that Abby and I are looking, the paper copies are different than what's up on the screen. But putting that aside for a moment, you do have space in either case, either the paper drawings or the digital drawings, to be able to leaf those two doors, if they were swinging gate doors, to open without interfering with where the parking area. So that's my only concern with this application. I actually think the old photos with the gate in it look pretty handsome. Reminds me a little bit of Inishale, with the exception of the house behind it. Okay, that's my comment. Would somebody care to make a motion, please?
Motion to hold for revisions.
And
Clarification.
Stephen, did you want to throw site viewing in there too? Was that one of the things you were at?
I think,
Oh,
I think of you, and I think Marty mentioned you had pictures. I think you should include them for the next time for members who may
Yeah,
not be.
precedent photos. Yes, yes, indeed. Thank you.
That's
Can you
part-
include that in
Yes,
front of me?
yes, please, that's
And-
part of my
And
motion.
let's do back to HSAP, okay?
And back to HSAP.
All right, so that's Abby's motion. On Abby's motion, Carrie,
Aye.
thank you, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Stephen.
Aye.
Very good. And Abby on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, motion carries, thank you. And we're gonna hold the two Botticelli polls for Tuesday night, if you don't mind. We just got the drawings in and I want to allow you guys enough time to be able to actually look at them. So,
That
does
is,
that,
oh,
I guess that needs.
a motion to hold 2 and 3.
Well, actually, you're chairing, so
Oh.
you get a motion from somebody else.
Do I hear a motion for that?
I make a motion to hold 2 and 3.
Thanks, Diane. On Diane's motion to hold, Stephen,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
Diane, on your
Aye.
motion, and I'm an aye.
Thank you, Abby. Okay, so the next, we're on old business, the first item of which is Val Oliver. I'm gonna guess she wants us to hold that. Okay, so,
Make a motion to hold 1.
thank you, Diane. Thank you for the motion. On the motion, Carrie,
Aye.
Stephen,
Aye.
very good. Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion.
Aye.
I'm in favor. Okay, so that's Val's project. And guess what? We got Tori. Okay, Tori. We're 21 Pleasant. Oh, thanks. Sorry.
Can I ask you a question about the board with John gone?
Yeah, so I know what you're gonna ask.
Go for
Well, see, ordinarily Stephen would take John's position, but Stephen's on this already.
Right, so is Carrie able to or no? Oh, because Stephen took his spot on the actual full board. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, so you may have a little bit of a problem. So Abby's chairing this.
Yeah.
Stephen's already on it. Val's not here.
Mhm.
Diane's here. You know, Tori, that's a 3-person board. You know, it's up to you. but-
No, and I held the other night because we had a 3-person board and we're on like month 7 going on 8, so I'm
I
like
know,
trying, so
I know.
is another board member allowed to come back in?
So
Okay,
what?
They'd have to read in.
And it has to be, okay, I think the rule is you have to have sat on it originally. So like if Carrie was on it originally and she missed a meeting, she could read back in. And that applies to anyone
Mhm.
else. But.
I think this is
well,
our original
that the
board, isn't
fact-
it?
Is that the fact of the matter? What, was she in on it?
I don't believe so. I think our original board is Camp McLaughlin, Coombs, Oliver, Welch. I think that's our original board from the beginning.
Yeah, sounds right.
So the best that I think you're gonna be able to do is to get Val back.
Wait till
on
Val's
Tuesday,
here.
you know.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
maybe-
sorry about that.
And so since no one else has been on other than these 5, is Carrie, she'd have to read all the minutes from every meeting.
No, even
She's
like
not
if you're
allowed to,
not
okay.
sitting on it originally, you can't read back in, because you weren't part of the original board,
Got it.
you know, that you missed one meeting. You have
So
to
we're
do
with
it.
4 people.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
so
okay.
sadly, you have to do it with 4 people. But it sounds to me like you don't want to do it with 3 people. Is that safe?
I mean, I feel like we've made the right changes and we've separated the issues. So,
It's your call, and Abby, by the way, is chairing, so I should.
so if I move forward today and we're held for whatever reasons, Val would be able to be back on it the next round.
Val could read back in.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
so why don't we give it a shot?
You mean right now?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
So
right.
you do only have 3 people.
yes, I understand. I've got Camp, Coombs and Welch, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Right.
All right, Tori, you can
sure.
tell us what you're doing.
So in an effort to separate, as we've discussed at a few meetings, but now the drawings reflect such, the grade changes that are of concern from the actual house application, we have drawn per HSAB recommendations, a set of staircase on the north, I believe, elevation that shows existing grade only. to the existing grade, the stairs, without changing the grade. To just focus on the fact that we've removed the shutters, we're changing the window style. I've got a window and door schedule here, and I've emailed it to HGC submissions, which if you wanted to look at it, it's here. I can make sure it gets recollated into the package. So we've removed the balusters at the front, we've removed the shutters. We have what we believe an appropriate style of window. There was some conversation with both this board and HSAB about the mold windows. I know Diane had a concern. A lot of them are existing in configuration. We're simply changing the style to a 6/1. We understand the concern about the 5 basement windows. Happy to discuss, lessening those. That was one of the HSAB comments. I'm sorry, I should have let you do HSAB
No,
first.
no, you're good.
It's coming now.
And then, let's see, HSAB also preferred possibly the 8/1 windows on the south and the west elevation, I believe, to be 6/1 to match. The only reason they're 8/1s is because it's the existing opening of the existing window. So we're happy to accommodate that request as well, done with 6/1 to match the rest that are proposed if the board deems necessary. And with that, I guess I'll open it up to your comments.
Thank you, Tori.
Hmm.
Anybody want to,
Yes. So, Madam Chair, based on, I know this has been going a long haul, so thank you, Tori. HSAB, the last time they looked at this, I believe, was in February. However, I have been looking at the revisions as these have been coming back and all that.
I think there's been one since.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
nope. They didn't, I don't think they had everything they needed, or I think that was what we were still waiting. Again, that's kind of one of the issues that kind of happens. And I apologize if people can't hear me. I'll speak a little louder. So for the record, this is an individually significant 4-square, circa 1923 to 1949 within the Old Historic District, attributed to the Bartletts, specifically Mr. Bernie Bartlett himself. I'm glad to hear you got a window survey. That was one of my first comments in the beginning months
Can
ago.
I interrupt you for a second?
Yes, sir.
Bernie, I think, definitely owned the house next door, but his dad,
Was it
Franklin.
his dad? I remember Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin owned this house.
Okay.
I think Franklin owned this house till he died, and then by that time Bernie was already dead.
Oh, God.
His son was dead, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, and he lived in a little ranch house next door. Sorry.
No, that's
Yeah.
important. Thank you. I remember him really well.
Yeah.
So thank you for the window survey. Would like to be able to take a look at that as one of my comments. The proposed 6/1 windows are common with 4 squares, both within the Craftsman style and the Prairie style. So that's fine. Their example with bungalows. The existing 2-story with a 1-story additive is traditional to the style. And with the 1-story, it's clearly subordinate to the principle of a 2-story mass. So the proposal, again, we're going from a 1-story to a 2-story. I just wanted to bring that to the commission's attention. McAllister, who is Virginia McAllister, who's an architectural historian, outlines that as a clear aspect of the style of architecture, and that is also consistent with building the Nantucket Mine, the existing style. The site plan should also provide HDC approved driveway. We talked about this previously. I do understand it was a different agent who did it, but I think that's important on the site plan. And I think I've previously brought that up, that should be indicated. The proposal does lose the additive massing with the 2-story addition. The eave should drop. Appreciate the removal of the balustrades on the facade. And those are my comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
thank you, Holly. Would anybody like to dig in here?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Thanks. Okay, so I just want to say, first of all, Tori, thanks for changes. I think that this is an important project and we need to have the drawings easily translate, so there's absolutely zero potential for confusion at a later date. So for instance, if you go to, I'm looking at sheets on my tablet. So let me come back to what you guys are looking at. February 18th. Yeah, no, I want to look at please the April submission.
Is this one?
Yeah, so can we zoom in on the upper? Yeah, both elevations on the upper, please. Thank you. So to me, this is confusing because what's being proposed to be changed is highlighted. And these are the changes that we were, I think, unanimously against with respect to grade. Can we go up to the next? Can we go up to the next drawing, please? Okay, and then zoom out a little bit. And show the proposed. Actually, you could zoom out a bunch, just to show the. Okay, and scroll up, please.
Wrong house.
Yeah, sorry.
Water right over here. Oh, you might need.
Somebody mute if you're not.
Somebody's even got their.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. Can you zoom out to show the whole sheet?
Yep.
Okay, so this one, I don't see a stamp date. I don't see anything to indicate what's being proposed is changed. I mean, obviously we can see it, but I believe this is the sheet we're working off of. Is that correct? Through you,
Madam Chair, yes, this is what replaced the prior sheet you were just discussing after HSAB review. So Holly, I think we were heard by HSAB in April. That's why this was submitted in April. So let's check that. And I don't know why this isn't bubbled, but is your hard copy bubbled
Yes.
on
Yes,
that page?
yeah.
So I'm not sure why the scanned copy didn't come through as bubbled. But this is in response to the HSAP comments. Yes, Stephen, and the changes I just described.
Okay, so the drawing labeled 5/3/2022 is the drawing we're looking at, or sets of drawings. So with respect to the proposed north elevation, I think the 8 light upper, if 6 lights are going to be used and 3 lights, is actually appropriate. I think it's not unattractive. And I think that, you know, having every single window on a facade the same is not historically correct unless we're on the front of a 3, 4, or 5 bay structure. So this is, to me, appropriate. I agree with comments. The addition should be subservient with respect to the eave. If it's going to be a 2-story, it needs to be dropped somehow. I don't think it would be inappropriate to have a small dormer off that. That's a hip. It would track your roof lines, make that possible. You certainly aren't going to get meeting rails to work, but you would get your heights to work. The west elevation comments are the same. Can we take a look at the south and the east, please? And while we're looking at those, I mean, just to be clear, to my mind, these grade changes are linked to the approval in that, you know, the porch is being added and steps down. So I would suggest that approval be, a requirement be that the grade would not be altered. At times, the grade would match as shown in the drawings at the time of inspection thereafter. There's not a, were there not changes on the south and the east?
Are there what, Stephen?
Were there not changes? I don't see the larger drawing. So this,
South and east.
That is what's
This is
up
what we've
right
got
now.
for south and east.
And there were no changes since our last
That's-
discussion,
Yeah, that's right, Stephen.
other than removing the balusters on the porch
it will,
and the shutters.
the only issue there is that the proposed east does therefore not show the steps. So that should get picked up in the drawings
Okay. Yeah.
from the, you know, the new exit. Or I think that, not sure if that roof plane is gonna be proud also, so that should be shown. Okay, those are my comments. Thank you.
Thanks,
I'll
Stephen.
go.
Thank you,
go.
Diane. Yep.
Okay. While we got this southeast or south elevation up, I don't think that the basement, whatever you want to call it, needs to have 4 French doors and 5 windows. I would like to see 3 windows in that lowest part and
Wait,
1
sorry, which elevation are you saying are the French doors?
The
south.
south.
Oh, south, okay,
elevation.
gotcha. Gotcha, go ahead, Diane.
I'd like to see 1 only. It doesn't, you don't need that many down there. You don't need 5 windows. It's got as many windows as the first floor, second floor. I say 1 set of French doors and 3 windows to the right. I think that's what, and I don't know whether there's any way. The second floor on the left, the new addition has got to drop. It is equal, so it goes right along with the sort of, you pick it up with the roof of the shed dormer on the east elevation. That has to come down. There's no additive massing to this place, and there is room to do it. So I would like to see that come down. I would like to see if the stairs that go along that porch on the left can come in so they're not on the side of the house, but tucked in. And that could happen if you lost the left-hand French doors. So that is my opinion on the south and the east. The north elevation that
This is freaking confusing, sorry.
needs
That's
to
okay.
come down on the right-hand side. The little addition has to come down. It's makes the house too massive across. It wasn't like that. And it's a very typical farmhouse that's out on the front. It should follow somewhat to the rear, I think. So I would bring that down, simplify the stairs, and so that they don't come out on the north side of the west elevation. And I don't mind the 8 4/4 windows because they seem to be wider, at least the one I'm looking at in the proposed west elevation. Is that supposed to be the same size, Tori?
As the existing opening, yes.
Yeah. So, that is it, and I do think that the land going down there is important. I don't know what's happened to the dirt that was put there, but I would like not to have to deal with it on this property. I think it should be removed so that the elevation of the lot is what it is now. So that's for now, my comments.
Hey, thanks, Diane. So Tori, I would like to see where the driveway is going, just simply because, it seems to be, it goes along with the whole renovation of this house, so I think it's important. to see.
So I've mentioned a couple times, we're gonna come back with a full landscape plan that meets also with the neighboring property and kind of cohesively addresses both entrances off of Candle House Lane, which is a very difficult, steep decline, incline, whichever way you want to refer to it as. So,
Well, is it possible when you come back for revisions to just even dot in where you think it, because for me to visualize that whole side going down.
yeah, there is an
Candle House
approved
Lane.
driveway that is just straight shot in towards the house.
Well,
From,
more of what
Edgewater.
I'd like to see what you really want to do, because it also affects sort of that side entrance and everything of how you would want.
So, yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. So if there was any chance of, since we're at almost month 8 on the house, if there was any chance we could do an approval through staff with the 4 items that have been somewhat agreeable to the 3 board members, and then I could come back with the driveway and everything else, we would be willing to take away one of the French doors, take away 2 of the 5 basement
Well,
windows.
So let's not make a deal right now.
No, no,
because
I'm just saying.
I want to speak and then I'll go back and see what my board has to
Okay.
say. My main concern was that driveway. And on the additive massing going out the back, I think that's a good idea to lower it. And like Stephen said, if there was a dormer in there, I wouldn't be opposed to that, if that's what he said. So on that north elevation, you have 2 different sort of balustrades. I'd like to see that consistent with just the old picket type going down instead of adding that sort of barn-like
Diagonal,
thing.
okay.
And the posts, okay, so for me, like this historic house, the posts in the back, it's on the west elevation, coming, supporting that balcony is really, I don't think that's like in a historic, it looks like something they might have done in the 40s without thinking fully about it, so I think that foundation is overly fenestrated, and I would like to see a trellis designed or something to sort of minimize that post coming off that first floor and coming down, and I think I just have.
That's at the west or at the
That was
south?
at the back west.
Okay.
And then I agree with Diane about the over fenestration of the foundation of the French, 2 French doors on that south, although, yeah, so I think it's gonna be really nice, but I'd like to see if the board is comfortable, so.
I would make a motion to hold for these revisions.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that too. I think we just, if you could come back with take all, do you have any questions about what? the
No, I
board
just
said?
thought we were close through staff on, because we're
Yeah.
agreeable to everything that's been
No,
mentioned.
I know, it's been, yeah, but
So if
I
we could
think
do
we
through
should get
staff
it.
due to the delays. that'd be
I'd love to
amazing.
get this right, though. It's gonna be a really nice project. So, Diane, you made a motion for some revisions?
Yes, to hold for
Yeah.
revision.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Stephen, on Diane's motion.
Aye, yep.
Okay, anything else? I am an aye as well.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tori.
Okay. Matthew. Tuesday now. Just so that I have a heads up, I'm looking at the queue, not seeing everybody. Do we have our usual group on this one?
I have seen Sarah.
Yes, Sarah's on, who else?
Big packet. It's a 2 NPT.
NPT, okay, Sarah. Mary, yeah.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm John. I'm
Oh,
new
hey.
at the Inky.
You knew it, the Inky?
New at the Inky, so this is a part of my beat now.
Oh, did
so-
they tell you all about writing only good things about the HCC?
Yeah, that wasn't a welcome packet, yeah.
Okay, good, just making sure that you got that message.
Sure, yeah, so
Okay.
you're ready full and you're out of can.
How did you know that? These little signs are a dead giveaway.
Right, yeah.
And you know that we have 3 other members on the, in the queue.
I don't.
Okay, so,
We got it.
Carrie, she's not on video. Oh, there she is now. So there's Carrie Thornwell.
Okay,
Carrie's an associate member. You've got Stephen Welch, who has just recently become a regular member. He's the guy playing shuffleboard or whatever that.
I think that's curling.
game is.
Yeah.
Curling, yes. And then Diane Coombs, of course,
Right,
the glamorous Diane Coombs that I'm not seeing right now.
okay,
And that's who's here now. And then
Sure.
you've got a couple more people that are missing.
all
Okay.
right,
Val Oliver, a regular member, is missing, and Jesse Dutra, an associate member, is also missing.
all right,
So that's the story.
okay. Well, it's a
Okay.
pleasure to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. Congratulations on your new post.
Thank
Now, are you gonna present Matt's project for him or?
No,
Welcome to.
I'll just be taking notes and answering questions.
Very good.
But,
Thanks.
I
All right.
just wanted to introduce myself.
Thanks for introducing yourself. Okay,
Thank
with
you.
that, with that, let's move on to the application for Two Stone Alley. Okay, Let's see what our board is. Matthew, I'm sure you're already up on this, but we got myself, Abby, Diane, no Val today, and Steven. So depending on the way things go, you may or may not have Val wanting to read back in. Okay? All right. So, well, first of all, I'm assuming.
No, I would like to have Val here, but because this has also gone on for so long, I think, I guess, I feel like I've done everything the board's asked. So,
Well, you know, Val will be back on Tuesday.
yeah. Might be safer to wait until
Okay,
Tuesday.
so, I'm thinking about your time.
Yeah,
Okay, and there is a danger moving forward, particularly with the controversy surrounding this application, of moving forward with a board, and then if we move for revisions, Val would mull it back in, and then you would have lost time.
yeah.
If you're looking to try and get this done, you know, and know what Val is going to say,
Mhm.
I would encourage you to hold for Tuesday.
I think so.
If I were
think any
sitting in your
extra
chair
votes,
right
yeah.
now, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm reading everyone, so I think that's the best way to do it.
There's an old adage, it's better safe than sorry.
I've heard that.
And for me, and so
If that's okay, I would request.
I think in terms of your timing, like, if you do not get it today, then you've lost like at least 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying?
Probably, well,
More,
5.
yeah.
It's about
So-
5, it's averaging about 5 weeks.
Yeah,
or 2
no,
weeks.
the more I think about it, the more I think that, hey, guys, out there in Zoom land, I'm encouraging Matt to wait until Tuesday so that he has a full board, and he seems to be agreeing with that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry that you all wasted your time, all of you, but I think we'll reconvene this one on Tuesday night, okay?
Okay,
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Thank you.
Okay, so, for the people in the room that are on this application, can I have a motion to hold until Tuesday?
I make a motion to hold until Tuesday.
All right, for full board. Very good. Thank you, Diane. On that motion, Stephen.
Aye.
Very good. Abby,
Aye.
Diane on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor too. Motion carries. We'll see you Tuesday. And then let's see, Western Ave. Western Ave. Oh, yeah, that was the youth hostel, right? Okay, myself, Abby, Diane, and honestly, I can't remember. There wasn't quite the level of controversy.
No, this is
there.
pretty simple. I mean, we're pretty restricted in what can be done on the outside, so it's really just,
Again, you have a short board, but, you know.
I feel comfortable with that.
Okay, so to reiterate, myself, Abby, Diane, that's it, 3 people on this one. Okay, Matthew is proceeding with that. Go ahead, Matthew.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we're only before you for really two elements. One is the south elevation existing doors. We had previously provided a crossbuck detail. We wanted us to keep them the way they are currently, which we've shown. And we looked at a couple different configurations of doors and windows. We previously submitted 2 larger leafs, if you will, which were roughly about 4 feet in width. And so we've since gone back and reduced.
Hey,
Yes? Sorry.
no, I just wanted the drawings to stop.
Oh, okay. Okay. Were they making you dizzy?
Yes,
Okay.
Trying to get the right thing.
So what we've actually provided a couple different alternatives for the board, but we felt that on sheet 2.1, the three units was probably more appropriate, is a little bit more proportionate to the existing glass size. We do show that larger transom across the top, but just to provide the board with additional options on the subsequent sheets. It's OP-C and OP-B, where we've OP-B, we have eliminated the transom and just gone with a taller unit. If you felt that those units were too tall, we could just create a taller trim piece in lieu of the transom. And then obviously just just basically a single light unit, which I'm not a huge fan of. One other thing, if I could, Diane, you had mentioned, there was some discussion about the ramp. And if you go back to sheet 1A 1.1, you'll see that we simplified the ramp. We basically eliminated the ramp access to the side door, which is on the east elevation, which is a public entrance. But there is an existing ramp there, and we feel confident that we can get a variance for that, even though it doesn't quite meet the 1 in 12 slope. So that was a comment that Diane, you had made. I know also HSAB had some comments. There is an existing network of quote unquote boardwalks on the site. At the time of this submission, we did not have the landscape plan, but someone has since been submitted. I do have a copy of that if anybody wants to see it, but it does take into this simplified ramp into account. So with that, I look forward to comments from the board.
Before we get to HSAB, and I believe Mary might want to speak on this, is she still on?
She's still on.
Okay. Yeah, okay, 1 second, Mary, but one thing that's unclear to me is, and maybe I'm just missing this, it says, see also alternative door options B and C.
And those should be in the set as a final sheet. They are up on these are the two options here, options B and C.
It might have also been submitted as an 11/17 supplemental.
I'm not seeing
document.
my package, so, but I don't mind looking at it on the screen. Okay, so what I have right now is 3 really tall doors that would take away the transom. That must be B.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, and then C is just 3 doors with no divided, okay, all right, okay, good, thank you. Okay, Holly, you first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as everyone is aware, this is the Star of the Sea that was attributed to Charles H. Robinson in 1874 to 1884. And it was recently a hostel for many years and has a benefit of a preservation restriction that you all remember was actually through HDC, through active CPC, and now NPT takes it over, which is the best steward for it. At the end of the day, any of the proposed changes do require NPT's concurrence. And I know that Mary can speak more to that as she's been monitoring the whole review process. HSAB did review these changes on May 9th. They had varied opinions on the proper approach regarding the front doors. One approach is to accept the repurposing of the old boathouse to a residential use, choosing traditional French doors as presented in option A, but to change the doors to 12 light with a kick panel. The alternate approach is to try to maintain the original large boathouse opening by eliminating the transom and using 2 large plate glass doors with very minimal metal frames. The old photos show that the swinging boathouse doors had a diagonal surface on the inside rather than the outside. And HSAB does respectfully request revisions if commission so inclined. From staff's perspective, I do agree with HSAB's recommendation to maintain the original large boathouse opening by eliminating that transom and using the 2 large glass doors with the minimal metal frames. This retains that character defining feature of the wide boat door opening, and the transom is inappropriate, my professional opinion. But I would like to go back to NPT and make sure that they're in concurrence with the proposals.
Which I will do. So just so that I understand your thinking and HSAB's thinking, would that be a variation on option C, whereby instead of having 3 openings, there would be 2 openings and there would be minimal, like actually kind of more like the doors that were used down at the Macy warehouse?
Yes,
Like that,
yes,
so that they kind of disappear.
yes.
That's okay. Hey, thank you.
Sure.
Mary, it's your turn. We'd love to hear what you think about this.
Hi, everyone. I'm in agreement with Holly and HSAB, or I should say NPT is. Simple is better. And really a character defining feature of this building is that door is, this void that you would have looked at the building and seen just this opening where the doorways were coming out of, certainly understanding that the use of the building is changing and evolving. But I think if that can be harkened back to as best as possible, I understand that's, you know, a challenge with a big piece of glass. But overall, NPT, you know, I also just gave you a little bit of background into, I know that this, I think rather this application going from HSAB to HCC, maybe back to HSAB, maybe back to you. Whatever the final submission is, we'll meet to review it again. So just, you know, we don't want to hold up what's going to take a long time anyway, but we, you know, we've had conversations with Matt and with the folks at Emeritus, and I think they're moving in a, you know, positive direction.
Great. Well, thank you, Mary. So that would be big panes of glass, but would be framed out in metal or something like that, right?
If I could,
To
Mr. Chair.
minimize the like visual, it's supposed to appear like there's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, just using the Macy warehouse as an example, I think that's like frameless.
It is
And-
frameless.
Yeah, so we could certainly do something like that if the board felt that was appropriate.
Well, I'm not sure you're gonna get a consensus view on that because I remember that approach being a little bit controversial, but so, all right, that's great for the background. Let's see, again, this one is me, Abby, Diane, Stephen, I'd like to hear from, oh, did I get that right?
I'll go.
Me, Abby, oh, no, sorry, me, Abby, oh, actually, Stephen, you're allowed to sit in where John was, right?
Yeah, I don't have much to add to this one, but yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, so you are now officially sitting on it because John was.
Yes, that's my understanding from the discussion we had the other night with Terry.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good to me. So we do have a 4-person board. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Thank you, Diane.
Start with the simplest things. The interior of the doors should be at an angle. The exterior of the doors should be up and down.
Can I say something, Diane? Just on that
Yeah.
point?
Yeah,
So the interior of the doors means when they're open, they'll be diagonal, right?
yes.
That is what these drawings show.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's-
just
I was
making sure. That is what they show. Yes.
I also appreciate it. If you look at the site plan, you'll see what Matt was talking about with the walkway boardwalk going on the right-hand side of the building.
Hmm.
That wood boardwalk, which exists there now, covers every building really. And then they have that, I don't know what he said, whether it's not a 1 in 12 going up to the back door, but it makes the interior, the front part of the building simpler and more in what it looked like than having all those, the wood boardwalk, which we want to keep, without putting that new one on. I think it can be avoided. And I would wish that it was avoided. I think the front doors, if you could make them up, which I think I just heard, that you could make them without a frame, I would go along with that. I think it's very hard. I can't decide. That I didn't mind, funnily enough, the one that had the bracelet top and the doors being shorter. I think the tall doors are too tall. I think the pure glass, if we're looking to have them look inside and make it as if you can see everything, then without frames, I don't know how you do it, but I guess there must be a way. Other than that, I think that what you've come up with is good, and I appreciate very much the ramping around the east side of the building, because I think that's makes it look neater, less messy, and more like what we're trying to save. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diane. Let's see. Stephen, you ready?
I think did he say something?
Well, he said he didn't have much to add, but there was nothing to add to.
If I could have,
Oh, there you go. Okay, you're on. Go ahead.
if I could have another minute, I'll wait.
Oh, yes, you may have another minute because we still have Abby. Go ahead, Abby.
So I like the idea of the transom, but I don't like it as part of the door. You know, I like it above, like traditional,
Which this is,
which this is.
well, it is separate, just to,
Yeah, I like this better than that other rendition you have. And I like the idea of this just having two doors. I'm afraid it's gonna get squashed if you have like a large kick panel. I don't know how that's gonna pan out unless you've got space on the sides, but you'll figure that out because you know how to do that. And I don't. But I think the idea of the two doors, I like the transom if you can put it in. I think it goes with the cupola at the top, sort of ties in with a little decorative feature. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Abby. You ready, Stephen?
Sure. Could I get some clarification on the two-door option? I don't see that in the online.
It's because it doesn't exist. Matthew broke it up into 3-door options, but what HSAB was recommending was going back to 2. He had it in an earlier submission.
it's, if I could, Mr. Chair,
I'm sorry.
well, on sheet A, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, 1A2.1, there is the previously heard version, which is the 2, if Stephen wants to see it for reference.
This one?
Yes, if you zoom in, the small one to the right.
Oh, the small one, yeah.
Yeah.
If you go to the right of that, yeah,
There you
lift
go.
up a little bit and there's 2.
There.
And then that had transoms integrated into the door, which
That kind of looks cool.
yeah, that was stupid. That was dumb.
Hang on, Stephen's,
Okay, I'll go. Thanks. So I
yeah,
think
go.
with respect to the doors, I almost strongly prefer the 3 over the 2 with the transom. I don't think the transom with the other architectural elements, not at least as laid out. There may be a solution that would allow that. If it were to be more of an architectural element and decorative, you know, you've got the beamwork at the eave. This looks more like a kind of a typical transom on a door detail, and I think it would need to be more substantial and not hidden. Other than that, no other comments. I do think the boardwalk, I'm not concerned about the boardwalks. They're not going to be visible. There is a precedent for them on the site. I understand wanting to keep it toned down, but that area is a dune, you know, basically sand dune area with grasslands and things that it's conducive to a boardwalk. And I think it'll be more user friendly with a boardwalk. So those are my comments. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. So my comments aren't going to be at all helpful because I'm actually with HSAB and NPT on this. And I think that like the Macy warehouse, I would like those doors to basically disappear. I would like them to be all glass, 2 big glass doors, no transom, no wood frame, no nothing. It would just be an aperture in the wall because historically that's what this was, you know, so that the real doors are actually the doors that are leafed off to the side.
Yeah.
So, you know, that I think that would be the most
To do nothing.
faithful, you know, version of this thing than to try and retrofit, you know, in Nantucket circa 2022.
I like that
Anyway.
too. I'll make it that.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
We'll hang on. We'll see how the board goes because, you know, there were a lot of opinions here. So what were you saying, Annie?
I think that's a great idea. Because and I'll tell you why I think that, because right now it almost looks like the opening to the dreamland or something. So-
Exactly.
And so I don't.
He stole that from the dreamland.
He
Guilty
probably
as
did the
charged.
dreamland. He
Guilty
probably
as
did.
charged.
But I like the simplicity of your idea that to make it like the
Wasn't,
Macy.
wasn't my idea.
All right, well,
It's a good
so
idea.
whoever, but
We all
he's-
spoke on
Stephen
Yeah.
has his hand up.
Okay,
I
Who
think,
has our-
Stephen.
hang on. Thank you, Abby. Stephen, you have your hand up, and Diana, I'll get right to you. Stephen, yes.
Yeah, and actually, I'm so glad you mentioned that because I was thinking about the glass door option and I didn't mention it. The only concern I would have with that is that I know there's anti-reflective coatings that go on. They're pretty durable. They use them on aircraft control towers and stuff. I think that that would be a more than suitable solution here and preferable to any of the doors.
Okay, well, good to know. Diane.
I think so too, if we can keep them.
Oh,
What I would like is if you didn't have any handles, see in that drawing, the second drawing that I'm looking at with the 3 glass doors, they have,
yes,
they have
yes.
handles and stuff like that. I would like to see them as little as possible so that you really weren't aware, and just the 2 panels, not 3. And however you can make them without frames as best you can. I think that's the answer. It really is good.
Terrific.
yeah. I like
Okay,
it. Yeah.
well, and the way to get those handles and the hinges to disappear is by doing them in oil rub bronze or something that's just gonna like just disappear into the dark behind.
Yeah,
So,
I'll
Abby,
make-
could you
Yeah,
make?
I'd love to make that motion. I'm
Okay.
so excited to do that. For, what are the advisory groups that say that?
HSAP and,
HSAP and Mary
NPT.
and NPT, and Ray thought, so to keep that as a door similar to the Thomas Macy warehouse door, which is has no frame, that the handles will be as minimal as possible and
non-reflective glass.
non-reflective glass.
Great, okay.
And I don't know if there's anything else on that.
I think you captured
Walkways?
the, well, I think everybody's good on that.
Okay, and the walkways, everything.
Okay, so that is Abby's motion. On Abby's motion, Diane.
and did she include the walkway that they were going to remove?
Oh, did I miss something?
That's, if I could, Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
and Diane, so Diane, those boardwalks are not part of this application. The ramp is, it is a 1 in 20 ramp, so that is connected to the building. As far as the boardwalks are concerned, Mirka Ahern is gonna be, she's already submitted an
Yeah,
application.
I know the
She's gonna keep the
boardwalks.
boardwalks there.
I know the boardwalks are going to stay. What I was concerned about was the ramp that comes from the front door down around the corner and to the east door.
Hmm?
Are you removing those or not?
No,
No,
need those. Kind of
yeah,
important.
you do need them.
Should you get a variance for that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, you okay with that, Diane?
No, but I'll say yes.
Okay, so Diane's in favor of the motion. Stephen?
Yeah, can we make one clarification though?
Yeah,
Just between non-reflective and anti, I don't mean to put too fine a point on it, but there's a huge dollar difference between non and anti, and as a matter of practicality, non is going to be hard to put into play. So I would just say anti-reflective glass.
okay, so we're gonna alter the language to say anti-reflective glass rather than non-reflective glass. And I appreciate that, Stephen, thank you. You're okay altering your motion?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, so Stephen, you're in favor of the altered motion?
I am, thank you.
Very good. And Abby on your altered motion?
I'm so happy with that.
Okay, great. And I am too. So the motion does carry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for working with the board. Okay, what time is it, folks?
It is exactly 2:10.
2:10. Okay, so is somebody here to represent 94 Orange Street?
Yes,
Okay, very good. So you're Paul, right?
correct.
Okay, So Paul,
Thank you.
Abby is chairing your meeting. Diane is present. Stephen is present. John is no longer part of the board, and ordinarily Stephen would be taking his place, but he's on anyway. And you also have Carrie Thornwell, so you have a 4-person board. Does that sound okay moving forward?
I think
You
so.
don't actually have much choice. I don't know
Right.
how you could alter that. So, you good?
Yes, yes.
All right, very good. So Abby will chair. Abby?
Yep.
To you.
Are you ready to present your project?
Say that again, pardon me?
Would you like to tell us what you did?
Sure. I think if you recall the previous iteration of the project, it had an asymmetrical rear addition, and the roof pitches were, I think, were considered to be awkward. So we revised the drawing to make the roof pitches symmetrical, and we gabled off. We put a gable coming toward the opposite side of the street. I can't remember which elevation that is. So it basically we kept the applicant's program, which is an addition to the building for his bedroom and kitchen, but also a screened-in porch or a summer sleeping porch on the upstairs. So again, we went from being asymmetrical and very mildly pitched roofs to steeper and symmetrical pitched roofs. And the other thing I would like to point out is that if you scroll down, the buildings all around this house, all of them in the back, they all have, there's no real consistency with how the rear of the building is treated with dormers or outcroppings. There's a lot of variation throughout the area. So I think, and the other thing I put out is that from the street, it would be close to impossible to see what's going on here. And also from either adjacent property, it's a very narrow site.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Holly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So for the record, this is a 1815 contributing structure within the Old Historic District. HSAB took a look at the revisions on May 9th. Massing is still very awkward. Tiny gables flush with adjacent shingled walls don't work. Trying to maintain a full two-story eave height in the addition is not realistic. Plate height of the addition should drop, utilizing dormers, and the long flush south wall needs to step in at the end of the existing second floor. And HSAB respectfully requests to see revisions if the commission is so inclined. From staff's perspective, and I think I mentioned this previously, there's no window survey of what was actually being removed, being proposed. Didn't see much of a change but I do appreciate the removal of the proposed second floor sunroom and keeping that rear door as is and not try to change it into a more formal door, which is not appropriate. On the north, the columns going down to the basement that's actually visible from Orange Street is still very not appropriate. Understanding that that element is more of a shed roof, but you're still going to see these proposed columns, which is very atypical. I agree with HSAB on dropping the plate height of the addition and provide the appropriate additive massing. The plans, it was just kind of at first glance on the revisions, the plans didn't show the previous proposed changes versus the existing and the proposed. So it was almost as if we were missing a reiteration. I can't speak, my apologies, in between the review. So we didn't get to see the last review. And I think that's important to see the evolution of the proposal. Although the rear chimney is being kept, the floor plan shows that it's being removed. And I was just curious, and I think I asked this before, what the age of this end wall chimney is. That was, previously asked. So those are the comments, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Molly. Let's see who
Oh, here.
Yeah. Diane, are you ready?
Okay. I think that the addition on the east elevation has to come down. The west, because the east elevation will face out to the harbor. And it will be seen from the harbor because the trees that are there are not very high and they've just mowed everything down to the ground. So it's sort of a direct view that's too heavy for the second floor deck or whatever. If that's the sleeping porch, it shouldn't have 4 windows across and on the south another 3. It needs to be relieved. The chimney with the owl on it. Abby, Holly, I don't know what you said about that chimney with the owls on it. Is that going to remain?
That is going to remain.
Okay, that's fine. And could I see a site plan so I could see how this fits in? Okay, what the it goes from lot line to lot line, and I believe you should bring it in because you have some land in back, and you could make it have some additive massing instead of putting it all up in the front house. This is what we try to do. You have more land practically in the back than you do in the front. So I would like to see what you can do. I can't see what the gray is on the back of the building. I can read that. That's proposed.
That's the addition.
That's the addition. Well,
Correct.
it could be broken down and dropped again. So you had a little more. The old buildings that exist along Orange Street and stuff all had much additive massing, and this is right at the beginning and I think should have the same sort of thing, not making it go from a sideline to sideline. I think that's it for the moment. It doesn't say. That's the only thing I have in mind. It just says this is what I have been able to look at, establish. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Stephen?
Sure. Can we zoom out on the elevations? Please. Oh, I'm sorry, of the proposed, yeah. So I'll speak to my concern about the proposed west elevation change, which is basically that column in the porch roof. Actually, you know what, I'll just do it now. I think it would be more in keeping with the design elements and appropriate for this to be a square post, approximately the size of a corner board, and for the that roof to I have an end cheek wall. So basically what is facing us is the ceiling area of that porch would be enclosed, but only enclosed and shingled. And the end result of this is when you drive by, for general perception, I mean, if you're studying it, it'll be a covered porch, but for general perception, you will just see an addition, a shed roof, and it will appear to have a corner board as long as those shingle lines are lined up on the roof and the ceiling enclosure towards Orange Street and the sidewall that's below it and close and further away from Orange Street. When we get to the other elevations, I'll probably reference that again. Can we go to, okay, so I'm sorry, go back to, yeah, lower corner. I'm zooming in. Through Madam Chair, Paul, the fenestration here, is this masked? I'm not picking up the divided light sequence. Are you doing 6/9s?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and you're just basically showing us that these are new?
Yes, their new 6/9 wood, and it's in the drawings, it's showing as 6/9. It's not showing up in the PDF for some reason.
Okay, yeah, just sometimes the layers don't populate. Okay, great. And can we go to the next set of elevations, please? Yeah, so I gotta say, I'm, unlike comments to this so far, I think this is a very attractive solution if you're gonna have an addition. It's what I'd refer to as site design. And, no offense, Paul, but this is like a solution you'd make when you're out on the site and you're building around various fixed elements within the structure, and the roof lines are accommodating those elements. And I mean, I think I see this on the back of this type of a thing on the back of buildings all over town when I'm out doing inspections. So I don't disagree that on the, bear with me, on the rearmost, so the east elevation, if that could be a hip roof there, I think, I don't see how that relates. I don't think that would be a problem for you, but if there's questions about what's visible from the harbor, personally, I don't mind it. I think it's not going to be very visible. And if it is, it's not going to be in the context of the whole. It's going to be in the context of the roof mass above it. And this particular roof mask is almost, it's trivial. The fenestration, I'm good with. However, I do agree that a window survey should be provided, and that is an important element in an approval. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Stephen. That last thing you said is my question is, on the front of this building, are those original windows, the 9/12s?
6/9.
8/12. And my question is, are those existing? Are those real old windows?
As far as I know.
Yeah, so, sorry, I forgot, Carrie, could you weigh in on this?
Sure. Can we go back to the south? I think the continuation of that second floor shed rake to a straight E to then a little gable is odd, and I would think it would be much helped to break it, step the addition back so you retain the existing shed, and then start your addition, step back a bit so it reads separate as an addition. With this, it's all one big plane. That's a very odd configuration. I was even wondering if maybe you leave a void where the second floor deck is and extend the addition as you have it, but just without that void somehow. And maybe just extend the rear right-hand L, but I don't think you have that on the property. I think you're within your setbacks right now. So I would just step back that face to differentiate the original with the addition. I think your deck would become a little, your second floor, or no, sorry, your first floor little entry would then get a little deeper on the inside, if you follow me. I also do think that the fenestration, your sleeping porch somehow should read as a separate piece as well. The gable is trying to do that on that south elevation. But again, I'm listening to Stephen and the visibility factor of this, which I don't think is that much, but I do think stepping back from the original main mass would be good, just by a foot.
Thank you, Carrie. Sorry, what's your first name again?
Mine?
Oh, Paul. Okay, so Paul, you said that on the existing west elevation, the front of the house, those are existing windows.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, all right. So my first comment is that the right-hand side additive massing with that porch, I think is a little, is too modern for this house, and I'd like to either see a window in that and have you approach that part of the house from the back, or have that as a door, but right now, just as with no fenestration on it, I think it's awkward, and a back porch stoop like that, I haven't seen that off of sort of a historic house before. So jumping back to the back of the house with your sleeping porch idea, you know, like if you're gonna make a sleeping porch, why not make it a sleeping porch instead of having a couple of windows in a row separated? I mean, really make it look like a sleeping porch. Which means, Diane's not gonna like this idea, but ganged windows and really make it a sleeping porch. I agree with Carrie about the architecture of that additive massing. I think having a little bump on the south for those 3 windows is odd. And then I think that extra bump in the back, I'd like it to read a little cleaner and simpler. So those are my thoughts, and I think it sounds like you have a little bit more to do.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to hold for revisions.
Okay, thanks, Diane.
Can I ask for a point of clarification?
Yeah.
On the previous proposal, the one that I've drawn, and then prior to that, there was a proposal that had, the client has been clear about his sleeping porch idea from day one. I live in a town in Vermont that has sleeping porches all over the place. And I agree that the contiguous or ganged windows are really in keeping with a sleeping porch. However, previous iterations of the project and last iteration of the project, there's been a clear pushback on that. And my client would love it if we could put the windows next to each other. And I think that would be historically in character with sleeping porches on Nantucket and all over New England. But I would happily go that direction, but I think the amount of pushback we've received tells me that may set me up for failure, so to speak.
That's true. I tried to do it and I ended up having to separate mine, so. But I really like the idea, and I think it's more authentic, but you're right, it may not pass. But do you have any other questions about the comments?
No, I'll wait for the minutes and I'll make revisions and I'll do them as quickly as possible. You know, yeah, that's, I understand for the most part, the comments.
You understand the comments. Okay, so Diane, did you make a motion for revisions?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and then I go back to HSAB.
Yes.
Okay, so on Diane's motion to recontinue, Stephen,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Carrie,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Abby. Thanks, Abby. Hey, could we hear Jason? He's the last one on old business, and if we have just a minute, I don't think it's going to take very long, because my recollection was that it wasn't so much about the architecture as it was about the grade. Does everybody have enough stamina left to just review one more thing?
One more thing.
One more thing, and actually, it would be all 5 of us, because we have.
I have to
myself.
run, Ray.
Oh, you have to run, Carrie?
Yeah, I gotta go. I was an alternate anyways, if he can go with 4.
Okay, so that's Jason's call. So Jason, you're, because Val's not here, it would be Stephen, Diane, Abby, and myself.
Okay,
You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Carrie. Thank you for sticking it out. Bye. Right, but we are going to move forward with 4 people, and hopefully this won't take too awful long. Okay. Jason, you have the mic. Go.
Okay,
it was a hold for a viewing. I put out grading stakes or stakes to mark the front two corners of the house. I actually graded, I did a laser and lasered off a mark. I don't know if you guys saw them on the stakes. The plan was to infill from the bike has a 20-foot elevation.
Yeah.
And we would continue the grade to the house and then only raise it, you know, up 2 feet at the house. So we could keep the foundation out of the 2-foot offset as required by Concom. So the house is about, as I remember, about, let's call it 35 feet off the road.
Bike path.
No, it's actually, it's 42 feet or off the road. It's the setback's 35 feet, and I think I'm at 40 feet for the front of the house. So, we were gonna maybe propose a wall there, but I think that's enough distance to make a gradual slope, which may be in fact a better solution for grade. And that's it.
So had you been asking for a wall in your initial application?
There was a drawing of a wall in the initial.
Okay, so the revision, if we want to call it that, is the fact that you've gotten rid of the wall in favor of just a simple
Yes.
slope up.
Yes.
Okay. All right, who would like to begin on this one?
Is that all this is, berming it up to the house?
Well, it is an application for the house, but my recollection is that we didn't really have awful lot to say.
No one had anything
At
to say.
least negative, no negative comments were made about the design of the house. Really, the only thing was the grade and verifying that it wasn't going to appear to be too popped out of the ground. Well, Jason, thank you. Anybody?
So the 2 feet that you're talking about is from like the bike path up 42
Yeah, so
feet
like,
back?
I know it's at a distance, but see where those trees are on the left-hand
Yeah, yeah.
side? That's more or less where the bike path is, to the
Yeah.
left of that. And then you see like a little red line.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the grade that's slowly coming up so that he can be able to
Yeah.
get his foundation out of the perched water table there. So.
Yeah, it doesn't
that's-
seem, I mean, we've seen worse.
Okay. We've seen a lot worse. Absolutely positive.
Yeah, a slight grade change up to the foundation, I'm fine with that.
Okay, Abby, thanks so much. Diane, you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, how tall is the building from the end of the foundation up to the roof?
Do you mean from grade to the roof?
Yes.
Give that to us, Jason.
It is 27.9 grade to the main mass ridge.
Okay, okay. Are we doing any of the landscaping now or just the house?
Just the house at the moment.
Uh,
The pool landscape was approved.
Okay, yeah, right. Jason has reminded me that the pool and the landscape were approved on consent. But they are there, like if we scroll to the right a little bit, that's
close.
A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
see it.
lines on there, yeah.
I have a problem with the pool, but anyway, I guess that's about what we can do, because you got the septic system in the front, and I don't have any thing with the architecture, so it just, I would go along with it. I just want to know when he's following that line, he's got the red line
Yes.
is what exists now, and the other line is what he needs to go to. So he's getting rid of all that land or that sand or whatever, right?
He's filling between the lower line and the red line.
Okay,
He's filling the site a little bit.
all right,
It's like a little triangle of space that he's filling.
yeah.
Dark black
Well, I
line.
think
Existing.
Hang on, Jason. Yes, Diane.
that's not an unheard of thing down there because the land sort of goes up and down all over the place on that far out. So I would be okay with this.
Okay, Diane, thanks so much. Stephen, you're the last one besides me, I guess.
I appreciate the idea of the sloping at the front. Otherwise, I'm just gonna abstain. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm good with this. I would not have loved the retaining wall because it really calls attention to the fact that the grade has been altered. This way, I don't think you're even gonna perceive it, honestly. So I'm okay. Can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
Very good, thank you. On that motion, Diane,
Aye.
Stephen,
Abstain.
very good. Abby, on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So the motion carries 3 in favor, 1 abstention. Thank you, Jason. Okay, so we're gonna conclude today's fun and games. Do we need to approve any minutes? Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so Abby's made a motion to approve the minutes of May 17th and May 19th. On that motion, Diane,
Aye.
Carrie's gone. Stephen?
Abstain.
Okay, Abby, on your motion?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. So that motion once again carries 3 in favor, 1 abstention. And could we have a motion to,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
very good. Abby's made a motion to adjourn. Are you going to abstain from this review, Stephen?
Positively not, Mr. Chairman. I'm an aye.
You're in favor. Okay, thanks. Diane on the motion.
Aye.
Very good. Abby on your motion,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, we didn't sign a lot of them.
You did an improvement.